Yemen for the drug deals because Yemen hasn't got oil. Yemen has drugs, the same as Afghanistan. Iraq, the Iraqi oil is not on sale to the Americans, but to Israel.
Okay. Oh, God. No wonder the Iraqis are smashing the pipelines. They must hate that.
Actually, hopefully the Iraqi, not the ISIS, because the ISIS is an invention between the United States and Israel. They are the ones who invented ISIS. They are the ones who are financing them because for the God help me, how in the hell did they find cars, ammunition, and everything?
Yeah, that's right. This is the problem. This is exactly the truth. We're going to, listen, everyone, we're coming up to a break. We're talking with, this is the Covert Report with Susan Lindauer on Truth Frequency Radio. We're talking with Al Fatah, who has just brought her family out of Libya. She is a professional woman. She was her family has been in international business for decades, and she is an educated Libyan woman who goes back and forth from Europe into Libya. She's been doing this for many years, so she has the rights of travel that many others don't. But this is but what we're talking about now is the collapse of Libya, and we're not a post-mortem, because the situation is grievously out of control. And I hope you'll stay with us, because when we come back, we're going to talk about more of what happened in August when the country split into two governments.
All right, now
the report. I'll get you started about what the report was, because it was quite detailed, and these were high-level military people who said they were speaking for themselves rather than for the military, but they disclosed that repeatedly that they care. Okay, let me get the gist of it out for our listening audience, so we're all on the same page. The AFRICOM military brass, I'm not going to call them generals. My brain is using the word general, but I mean brass. Disclosed that they had been contacted by top military leaders in Gaddafi's government, and that Gaddafi wanted to negotiate a ceasefire so that he could step down. And that he would go into retirement, and they were. He even showed some good faith at the request of the AFRICOM military. He showed some good faith by pulling some of his own troops away from Benghazi and away from some of the trouble zones. And he said, "Look, I don't want my people to be bombed. I want this bombing to stop. I want, don't destroy our infrastructure, don't destroy our society, and we just don't want Al Qaeda here." Well, that was a problem. And the military guys said that they carried on these negotiations for quite a while, for several days. Intensively for several days, and he was convinced. The men who were speaking in this article said they were convinced that it was going to be accepted because it was such a reasonable thing to do. What else would you want except for Gaddafi to go? And they passed it up to Washington, up through the State Department, up to Obama. Mm-hmm. And Obama turned it down, and he said they were convinced. They said they were convinced. They were absolutely, positively certain that Obama had seen it and knew all about it. And then Obama refused to let him leave. They just refused to let him go, and he would have left. He would have gone into exile outside of the country.
Not outside of the country. He would go to the Sahara. That was
the Sahara.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in this article, it said outside the country. So
Yeah,
if they'd wanted him outside, wherever he would have, maybe he would have gone to the Sahara in Egypt. Maybe he would have gone to the Sahara in Tunisia. It could have been anywhere. It would have been something. Gaddafi.
their answer on that, they said exact words quoted. Sorry, we cannot allow you to resign. We cannot allow you to step down. We need to have you dead. Because even if you go to exile, you will come back. That's the exact words.
He was an old man. He couldn't come back. He was dead.
Yes, he could. But,
because they knew that they didn't have any support in the country. Listen, if the West had any support at all for what they were doing, then there'd be no way Gaddafi could come back.
Exactly. So
it would have been impossible.
Let me explain. Although I don't like to speak ill of the dead, Stevens, he was a CIA.
Yes, he was.
All
Definitely.
Right. Although Claire Lopez, who talks highly of you, an ex-CIA, she refutes that he was a CIA, Stevens.
It's very common for ambassadors to be CIA. That's very normal.
Well, she refutes that.
Okay.
And I have a conversation with her. Unfortunately, I'll say a few things what she did say, and she really pissed me off. But I have a confidential section from a Telegraph where it explains exactly what Stevens was doing with Belhaj in Libya, and he was his only contact. Now, let's remind the people who Belhaj is. Belhaj is the second hand of bin Laden, leader of the Libyan Islamic, what you call it?
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, well, it became Al-Qaeda.
The Al-Sharia,
Yeah. And
there's so many factions and names now for all these little Al-Qaeda groups.
Yeah, and he, between Stevens and Belhaj, who NATO put Belhaj in Tripoli as, not a mayor, as the Caliphate of Tripoli in 2011.
How stupid. Oh.
It's not stupid. McCain has been befriended with Belhaj. He said he's not a terrorist.
Oh.
McCain.
Well, I'm so glad John McCain sure tells me that. That just makes me feel so much better.
McCain made ISIS in Arizona.
Yes.
You should know that.
Yes, I know.
Okay. And Christine Amanpour had an interview with Belhaj, making him a saint. Not that he never kidnapped, he never raped, he never killed, he was never with bin Laden. From CNN. You can check that out.
I realize that. He may not have been with bin Laden, but he was still wasn't he in prison?
He was in prison, and then he was brought into Libya. He was imprisoned also in England. By the way, he has an English passport. He has sued England for the mistreatment that he had. He is the leader of Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, and he is known as the Al Qaeda leader. He has been known, widely known. It's not now. It's not yesterday's news. He's been since the 80s. We've known about Belhaj. Belhaj was with bin Laden. That is a fact. It's not something that it's a made-up story. Belhaj now, with the money of the Libyan people, he is hiring public relations people to smooth him out and to take him out of the military and make him to look like a president. Obama wants him there. And he was not in Guantanamo. He was captured by the U.S. intelligence and was fighting U.S. all over the world. He was also charged about the bombing in Kenya.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. This is the man we are talking about, who on the June elections, where the government was chosen democratically, and by the way, I was there, June 2014, and some idiot journalist dared to say that it was only 20% who voted, and I said, well, if you calculate that only 3.5 has remained in Libya, the rest, 1 million something is dead, 2.5 million are in exile, what do you expect? You will have a 20-30% voting. So the original government had to escape and go to Tobruk. This is legally and internationally recognized. The GNC that lost the election...
Now, hold on, everybody. We're about to explain to you that there are now two governments functioning in Libya.
No, it is one government.
Yeah, some people say it's two governments.
No, the two governments, that one who says that is Deborah Jones.
Okay, Deborah Jones. Okay, well now let's be real. This is where the chaos is going to come, and we have to talk about it in terms of two governments, because we have we have to explain this to people, because this is so important. The United States has support. Deborah Jones is the ambassador, and her government was voted out of power. Is that correct?
Yeah, they don't have any powers in Tripoli.
Okay,
it doesn't have any powers.
Okay, okay, but hold on. There are two governments.
Let me put. Okay, Susan.
This is really important to explain to people. I know you don't like the American-backed government, and we do not say that it's legitimate.
Hold on.
We're not saying it's legitimate. We're saying that it exists.
Susan,